My favorite aspect annually of every single Apple release when it comes to iPhones is the fact that you get all of these Android haters who come on all of these websites and they try to talk up the latest Galaxy Note. They try to talk up the latest Galaxy phone, XS versus the Galaxy 9 or whatever. I feel really bad actually for the Android people, because the Android people understand that once September rolls around, Apple owns the goddamn street itself. And they realize right away that they can't even tread on that street anymore because everybody's talking about the new iPhone. It's like today, most people who know me know that I'm into iPhone and that I've always had the newest iPhone. And most people who know me, the first thing they were going to ask me, hey, what do you think about the new iPhone? You going to get the new iPhone? To which I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get it, but that thing's fucking ridiculously expensive. Now, I was looking at Yahoo, and it's funny because I want to look at some of the Yahoo comments, the top comments anyway. And the sad thing about it is Yahoo and most of these other clickbait journalists out there have basically become Apple subsidiaries to some extent, because they're getting paid money to run all of these advertisements for Apple. So if you didn't watch the Apple event when it came on, you damn sure are going to know about it today. So anyway, iPhone XS Max versus everything else. Which iPhone should you buy? Now, first of all, I don't even understand why the iPhone 7 is still here. I thought by now that they would have totally gotten rid of the iPhone 7, but I'm guessing they'll just push the price down so that they can make sure that, okay, we're selling iPhone 7, we're selling iPhone 8, we're selling the XR, we're selling the XS, and we got this. So basically, they've got you basically covered all the way from, what is it, $449 all the way up. And then now notice that they don't even want to talk about how much this fucking new one. The biggest, best one you can get is fucking $1,600 with tax. They don't even want to talk about that. So they're saying, okay, $449 it starts, $1,099 the iPhone XS Max starts. So you're paying $100 more to get that big screen. And, you know, the Android people, oh yeah, well, Samsung phones have had screens that are 7 inches. And I'm like, nobody gives a fuck. You know, and it's really sad, because the problem is everything that Android phones do, they do it in spite of Apple. So if Apple has a 12 megapixel camera, oh yeah, well guess what? The new Evo 12G, oh, we've got 14 megapixels. It's like everything they do in spite of Apple. And I just think it's so ridiculously cute watching the Android people argue. I think it's hilarious. But anyway, iPhone 7, 32 gigabytes. Obviously, you do not want that. First of all, I'm a little disappointed with Apple for a couple of reasons. Number one, they shouldn't be selling, at this point, when you're dealing with 4K cameras and you're dealing with all these apps and shit people bought up. Now, I understand that most people are going to buy what works for them. But as far as I'm concerned, you shouldn't be selling any phones that are lower than 64 gigabytes. As far as I'm concerned, you shouldn't even be selling a 64 gigabyte. There are some people out there who are like, oh, all I need is a phone. All I need is a phone. Me and my wife, we just need a phone. We don't need anything crazy. And that's basically what the 32 gigabyte model's for. Thing about it is, you're selling the 32 gigabyte on an extremely obsolete phone. The 7 and the 7 Plus is extremely old at this point. It's like more than 2 years old at this point. So my thing is, y'all shouldn't be selling anything less than 64 gigabytes. But Apple knows better than me. That's the reason why they're a $1 trillion company. That's the reason why Samsung's not. So anyway, 128 gigabytes, $549. So basically, obviously, the cheapest series that you can get versus its storage capacity is the iPhone 7. And what bothers me more than anything is all these goddamn clickbait journalists. I must be the only person that I've ever heard actually say it since last year. And I keep on saying it, and I keep on saying it. There's no 128 gigabyte in the 8 model. There was no 128 gigabyte on the iPhone X. And I'm thinking to myself, well, what happens if you were a person with the 7 who had a 128 gigabyte and you wanted to move into an X or an 8? You couldn't get another 128 gigabyte. You were forced to go all the way up to a 256. And I don't really think that's fair. I don't understand why the fuck there's no 128 gigabyte when, in fact, the iPhone 8, because it shoots 4K video, that thing should start with 128 and it should end with 256, if not go higher. But they're not going to make any more refreshes for the iPhone 8. So my thing is, I don't even know why they bother doing that, with the exception of, obviously, the answer is the profit. More than likely, they're probably making more than $300 or $400. They might be making more than that. They're probably making $400 or $500 profit on every single phone they sell. Especially with the newer ones. Now, with the older ones, the profit might be like $200 or $300. I've heard their profit definitely tops $300. So the only reason why they would sell you a 32 gigabyte for $449 is because they're making ridiculous profit on it. It might only cost them $150 to make the phone. So whatever, you'll never know because they ain't going to tell you. But the simple fact is they're a $1 trillion company and everybody else is not. Samsung is not. LG is not. They can make dryers and washing machines and they can make, you know, televisions and shit, but they're not worth $1 trillion. Now, maybe they will be someday, but guess what? Apple is worth $1 trillion because you can't get this iOS anywhere else. Your only option to get iOS is to come here. So anyway, they got the XR, the XS. It's like iPhones are like Jaguars now. It's like when you buy a Jaguar, you got all these crazy XK, XS, all this shit. It's like they got the XR. Now, I've heard, what I've been reading is the XR, yes, it has a bigger screen than the X did, but what I've heard, they've taken a lot of stuff out. Like, they took out the telephoto lens, and they've also taken out the Force Touch, and they've basically replaced it with what Android users recognize as long touch. So, this XR, the biggest one you can get is $899 for 256 gigabyte. Now, my iPhone X was a $1,149 phone last year. So they replaced the X with the XS, right? And now they got this liquid crystal display, which I'll have to see in person, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. Because me personally, the only reason why I'm upgrading is to get this 512 gigabyte flash. Because the bottom line is, if I have a 512 gigabyte flash, I won't need to upgrade for at least 2 years. Because the thing about it is, regardless how fast the CPU and all that stuff is, that stuff doesn't really matter to me. What matters to me is being able to store the maximum amount of video for my travel log and vacation videos. Like when I made these videos, when I made my videos about traveling to Korea and to Manila, the problem that I had was the videos got so large that when I wanted to finalize them on my phone, the problem was that the videos got so ridiculously large until the finalizing feature didn't have enough space. So, for instance, this video right here, where was it? The video, the real South Korea. This video that I made on my iPhone was 5 hours and 7 minutes. Now, the problem that I had was that there wasn't enough space to finalize it on the phone. And then once you did finalize it, you didn't have any space left. And you had to get it off the phone immediately. This video right here, the real Manila 4K that I made when I was in Manila, Philippines. 4 hours and 2 minutes. Now, I have about 30 gigabytes of personal information and apps and all that stuff. 30 gigabytes on my phone. So basically, if you've got a 256 minus 30 gigabytes, right? So that means that I only have 226 gigabytes with which to record. So if I'm able to shoot a 4K video that's 60 frames per second with 226 gigabytes, and I'm able to finalize it, which ultimately creates something like a 50 gigabyte file or something. So if 226 can give me 4 hours, then if I have that 512, the 512, so let's say if I do that 512, 30 gigabytes will go to my personal files, which will give me 482 gigabytes, about, give or take. It might be 480. I don't really know how it's formatted. But it might give me 480, right? That's twice the fucking size. Because you think about it, 482 minus 256, right? I still have 226, so I have a whole 4 hours plus. I really believe that I can pull 8 hours out of the 512. And to test that, what I'm thinking about doing is the next vacation I go on, I'm thinking that either I want to go to Vietnam and Cambodia at the same time, like, you know, half the month in one, half the month in the other, or what I would do is I'd go to Maldives. because Maldives, you know, if you're on Facebook, you see Maldives all the time. Now, you don't see much about Seychelles for some reason, but Maldives is the place they're trying to get people to go. Emirates, as you know, I flew from JFK to Dubai and then to Emirates, Seychelles. 13 hours basically to get to Dubai and then 4 hours to get to Seychelles. Actually, it was like 12 and a half hours, right? It's the same exact distance to go to Maldives, and it's basically the same price from what I've seen. If I were going to grab one of these right here, that's a $1,600 with tax, because you got to add like $130 or something to this. I'd be able to shoot my travelogues for 8 fucking hours for the next 2 years. 8 hours. And I probably wouldn't even need to upgrade to another phone come when the XS2 or whatever it is comes out like a year and a half from now or whatever. I wouldn't need it. Because ultimately what I want is something that they didn't offer me on the iPhone X. If I had the 512 gigabyte right now, I wouldn't be thinking about the XS Max. I don't give a fuck what the screen looks like. The X works perfectly as it is, and you didn't give back another home button. So as far as I'm concerned, it's the same shit as far as I'm concerned. So give me the 512, $1,600. I'm pretty sure those may sell out almost immediately, so I have to pre-order the damn thing. But even if they don't, I'm pretty sure it won't take very long for them to be in stock, because the thing about it is most people are not going for 512s. Most people will end up going for the 256 at most. But I really think, from what I've been seeing, a lot of people, even though they've been given the option to get a bigger screen iPhone, most of the people I've seen have been going with either the iPhone X or they've been going with the regular iPhone models instead of the Plus, because I've seen a lot of women who don't seem to like the extra size of the Plus models. So I'm pretty sure, especially considering this is a cash-strapped society, no matter all that bullshit and lies that Trump talks about how great the economy's doing, all that bullshit and lies, the simple fact of the matter is most of these people, they may be working, but they have not gotten increases on their money. So because they haven't gotten increases on the amount of money they're making and their wages, most of these people ain't spending $1,600 on a fucking iPhone. Now, I'm fortunate in that I make enough money where I can say, yeah, I'm going to buy a motherfucking iPhone for $1,600. That's the most, like, even to say that doesn't make sense. It's like, how the fuck does this thing cost $1,249 at a 256, but it jumps like that to $1,600 for a 512? I think that's insane. But that's just what it is. And the problem is, everybody goes, oh, yeah, well, you're just an Apple sheep, and you're a stupid Apple buyer and all that shit. Well, guess what? Number one, buying products is the most democratic process there is. The reason why is because nobody can force me to go out and buy an Apple phone. Nobody can force me to go out and buy a Samsung. If I choose to, I can buy whatever I want. I can choose to not buy anything. That's called democracy. That means that I get to vote with my dollar. People vote with their dollar and people vote with their feet. If you don't like Canada, move. If you don't like America, move. If you don't like Egypt, move. It's just that simple. All you do is you pack your shit and get the fuck out. That's it. So ultimately, that's what real democracy looks like. And the reason why these Android people are so upset is because they realize how fucking locked down Apple's got this market. Let's read a couple of these comments, because there's not a lot of comments, but let's read some of these comments. They discontinued the phone that would fit in your front pocket. So this guy got 9 up, 2 down. They didn't discontinue the phone that fits in your pocket, you stupid asshole. Okay. I like my MacBook Pro and iPhone 6. I don't feel that any of these new phones have anything I want. They seem unnecessarily complicated, huge, and fragile. You haven't even used it yet. Downvote, you asshole. Okay. Oh, you spent $1,500 on a phone? That's cool. It's just that you're not allowed to vote anymore. Thumbs down, idiot. Thank you very much, Apple, but my iPhone 8 does everything the newest ones do. So, the newest ones. Seek. Okay, so you are not getting me this time. And of course he has a picture of Obama that is a caricature. So this guy's an asshole. Downvote. Okay, ho-hum, another overpriced and underspec Apple product. Wake me when they truly innovate again. Well, they put 512 gigabytes in it and they have a liquid crystal screen, you jerk off. Down. Waiting for 5G. Okay, well, you know, I'm buying it anyway. You know, I guess the next one will have 5G, whatever. Maybe the next 2. Which one? Samsung for me? Yeah, you know you're getting a downvote. I stand, you loser, and you posting pictures of your kids on there. for the people from To Catch a Predator to see. Stupid. Anyway, Apple haters in 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm not an Apple hater. Well, let's see what they said. It's like, as opposed to the all-new, totally revolution. Look at this shit. These fucking Galaxy owners. I hate these people. As opposed to the all-new, totally revolutionary S9 Note 9. Oh, wait. Droid fanboys seem to jump on this iSheet bandwagon, but it's the same story there. These guys are hilarious. Bobby, new processor, slightly more rugged design, that's all. Downvote. No, it's got 512 gigabytes, stupid. Downvote. Okay, so sheep. Okay, I get it. Everybody who buys Apple products and has $1,600 to spend on a phone is a sheep. Downvote. Well, haters gonna hate. Doesn't matter what the product is. Yep, that's true. It's actually 3-2-1. Oh, so what did this guy say? Oh, Apple haters in 1, 2, 3. Well, I mean, you know, that's glass half empty, glass half full, whatever. Anything new with these phones besides adding an extra letter to the name? I didn't see any features listed that were new. Downvote, jackass. Okay, funny, it's the Apple owners complaining. Well, I'm complaining about the price. I'm not complaining about the product. But ultimately, that's capitalism, right? I thought you guys love capitalism. What happened to all the Republicans who like capitalism? What happened to you guys? You're not talking out about capitalism, how much you love it? Why? I need to buy a new Apple iPhone made from China. Verizon and T&T phone monthly payment equals car monthly payment. I'd rather save money to buy a new car. You're going to be saving for a long fucking time. The average car costs like over $30,000. All right, anyway. Which iPhone should you buy? Easy. Buy the Note 9. Downvote, you jackass. Okay. When's the price of iPhone 8 going down? That's what I want to know. I guess it already did, I think. Because I think it was like $1,000. Yeah, asshole. Alright, I went out and bought a nice used X for half of its original price. No way I can justify paying over $1,000 for a 64 gigabyte base phone. I'd rather buy another Surface laptop for that price than a phone which will be slow in 2 to 3 years. None. Okay, downvote. Not one supports 5G. Wow. You know what? We had the same problem when the Evo 4G came out. Let's see. What does the 5G map look like? Let's see what the 5G NYC map. What does the 5G look like? Because, you know, the problem, the Evo, when it launched, they had LTE, they had 4G and all that. The problem was there was no place that really supported it. So you can have 5 fucking G, but if there's no place that supports it, then you may end up paying extra money, just like they did on the Evo when that first came out. I'll never forget that. The Evo came out, you had to pay $10 more, but unless you lived in a place where they had 4G coverage, you didn't get 4G. You just didn't get it. But they bragged about having access to it. The problem was there was no place to actually get it. And most of these people, the majority of their data moves on Wi-Fi anyway, so let's see. 5G. Sprint's first 5G markets. Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas, Houston. Okay, I live in New York City, but the thing about it is, you know, it takes time to roll out for 5G. It took time to roll out 4G. It took time to roll out LTE. It's going to take time to roll out 5G. It's going to take a good long time. So the thing about it is, you know, you guys, like, on paper, it's like, everybody is like, oh yeah, well, on paper, my phone is better than yours. Yeah, but that's on paper. Nobody wants a fucking piece of shit. It's on paper. It's like if BlackBerry makes a phone that can give blowjobs. It's like, yeah, on paper, it can do all that. But the thing about it is, we're still going to go get the iPhone. We'll wait until iPhone makes a phone that can give blowjobs. Okay, so don't buy any. Stay away from the Apple Cart. Downvote. Microsoft Master Race. Yeah, I gotta upvote that. This is BGR. I'm surprised they didn't say you need all of them. Ugh, these people. No thank you. Too expensive. I have an LG K... Okay, downvote. I'm not even gonna read the rest of that shit. Samsung, yep, downvote. I'd like to buy the one that doesn't and can't track everything that I type and say, that can't be turned into a hot mic by the NSA and doesn't track me every single place I go and won't hurt. How many fucking commas and ends do you want to use?
Okay, with microwaves and won't succumb to any viruses and doesn't cost $1,000 plus $200 a month for service that is spotty on the best of months. Oh, I know. I'll get a copper connection and you know what? Downvote. iPhone XS, downvote. Not XS, ha 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 ha. That's pretty funny. Okay, you know, I'm gonna give you an upvote for that because that's pretty damn funny. iPhone XS. I like XS. That's brilliant. I like that. I'm gonna call it that from now on. Neither. If you own the iPhone 8 or iPhone X, I want the 512. So yeah, you get a downvote for that, jackass. Okay. It's said that even if all wealth were distributed to... Oh, we got a Bernie Sanders support over here. Even if all wealth were distributed to the poor, that the poor would be poor again. But what if everyone bought an iPhone? Everyone, imagine all their profit. Would they still raise the price on the next phone? Profit margins for these phones is ridiculous and gets greater for every phone. Then people complain about being broke and having anxiety, yet walk around with $1,000 phone. Get a clue, people. Get a rotary. This is trolling at its fucking worst. Don't buy any of these overpriced devices. A huge waste of money. Okay, yeah, downvote. Kind of ridiculous that phones are more expensive than computer. Downvote. My wife thought about getting the iPhone 7 last year to save some money. The guy in the store convinced her to get the 8 because it would last her longer. Thank you, guy in the store. These are incremental upgrades wrapped in iPhone X shells. Not really all that great. Steve Jobs needs to come back as a rude and smelly zombie to kick out kook. Downvote. That is excess, all right. Downvote. Okay. None of them. Downvote. No. SE2 is so disappointing. Just sticking an A11 in the SE and upgrading the RAM would have been all downvote. 1,500? What a joke. Okay, so as you can see, this is what I've got to deal with when I go online. It's like, got all these people, these Galaxy fanboys. You know, it's sad. It's only the Galaxy fanboys that really give you the problem because the LG people, anybody with one of them LG Stylo 4s, they already know their phone ain't shit. And I know because I bought one for my mom's birthday, and she's happy to upgrade from the LG Stylo 1. And the thing about it is, she thinks it's fabulous. I know better. But that's just what it is. So it's mostly the Galaxy, Samsung people you got to deal with because they already know their phones are whack. And Samsung basically makes exploding washing machines and shit. So they already know. They already know. I mean, they had to try to forget about the last couple Galaxies they made because them shits kept bursting into fucking flames. So, you know, that's just where we are here in 2018. So, that's basically it. I know you want to call me an Apple sheep, but it looks like I've got no problem beyond buying the 512GB iPhone XS Max for $14.49. So I guess that's just what I'm going to have to do, guys.